Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Chloe Thaler.
And I'm Lucy Jane Ragsdale.
The Auburn Student Government Association spring election campaign started yesterday afternoon. In a kickoff on the green space, students were introduced to this year's major candidates as their supporters revealed campaign logos and t-shirts.
The elections include both major and minor candidates on campus. The major positions up for grabs this spring are University President, Vice President, Treasurer, and Miss Auburn. The minor positions include President, Vice President, and Senators of the 12 colleges on campus.
Presidential candidates include Daniel Calhoun, Mary Margaret Turton, and Brooks Jones. The SGA president serves on the Board of Trustees and works with administrators on behalf of students. The candidates spoke with Eagle Eye TV about their platforms.
In order to become one with Jones, the programs and initiatives we are advocating to change are as followed. Student success through unity and academic enhancement, student experience by increasing the access to amenities that Auburn offers, student transportation that is tailored to the student body, student safety through the increase of campus lighting and security, and finally, student dining enhancement and expansion.
As your SGA president, I would target campus life, innovation, and wellness to maximize student potential and the student experience. My targets include an improved athletic experience, dining enhancements, a student-centered podcast, and increased innovation in and out of the classroom. I'm also targeting wellness by advocating for golf cart rides to the medical clinic and adding a sexual assault nursing staff to the new 24/7 medical facility.
My platform has a number of goals, but it focuses on three main points. First, I'd like to create a more balanced and equitable student body for all Auburn students by facilitating real representation within SGA from groups like the BSU, ISO, and more. Next, I'd like to increase efficiency across campus by taking an in-depth look at the ways that students travel from point A to point B on campus, from updated transit routes to scooter options. Finally, I want to increase transparency and promote collaboration in and out of SGA, bringing the branches together more frequently to better serve the students' needs as they rise and change.
SGA vice presidential candidates are Riley Hambrick and Carlos Smith. The vice president of SGA is responsible for presiding over the Student Senate. Candidates for treasurer are Abby Galati and Hunter Short. The SGA treasurer oversees all aspects of the budget and works with cabinet members to make sure financial needs of organizations are met.
Candidates for Miss Auburn are Macy Armstrong, Laura Davenport, Kate Dorston, Kennedy McGee, and Maddie Sullivan. Miss Auburn serves as the official hostess for Auburn University and works alongside the War Eagle girls and Plainsmen.
For full profiles on each candidate, visit our website, eagleeyeauburn.com. Voting will be available on February 5th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Students will also vote on 2 referendums Tuesday. SGA Code of Laws Director Max Zinner spoke with Eagle Eye TV about what the First Amendment means for students.
Well, there are a number of different components to this amendment that is going to be on the ballot on Tuesday. This was actually from 4 different bills in the Student Senate that were consolidated into one because they all fit into the same general theme of cleaning up, modernizing the language in the SGA Constitution, and reducing clarifications. For example, one of the most notable components is when talking about the different types of legislation that the Student Senate can pass. Right now, the SGA Constitution talks about bills and resolutions. Well, right now in the Senate, we actually have 3 types of legislation that we pass: bills, resolutions, and commendations. Now, one could say that commendations are technically a form of bills. I would say that under the Code of Laws right now, but it's a lot simpler if we just put that all in the Constitution, just a general description of each. We define them more in the Code of Laws. That's generally the purpose. The Constitution is, these are the general things you're going to be doing. The Code of Laws is more specific. That's the same idea that goes behind another component of it, which talks about apportionment. Right now, it's very specific. It says a specific date of the month when apportionment needs to be done. Well, the dates are actually a little bit weird in the Constitution because it was written based on a different SGA elections calendar. We're going way, way ahead of time on apportionment with that, and we're proposing this amendment to the Constitution. It would make it a little bit simpler. It would just say the Senate must apportion itself annually. That's really important so we get the actual numbers of senators. It's a little less significant as to when it happens, so long as it happens before elections, before the campaign packet's released and all of that. We can put those dates in there. I think we should, But those are things that belong in the Code of Laws, not so much in the Constitution. Another important thing that is being changed, this is really a clarification, is regarding the Judiciary Committee or the judicial branch. The Constitution right now, it mentions a judicial advisor. And it could be read as suggesting that there is that judicial advisor as a member of the judicial branch, possibly even a voting member. Well, every branch of SGA works with Auburn University staff members. We have multiple staff members who work as SGA advisors. We don't define advisors for either of the other branches, executive or legislative, so I think it's a little bit odd that we do it specifically for judicial, especially since it should be students voting on these student issues. Advisors are there to assist and, of course, advise. That's their title, that's their job, and they do that very well. We have very good advising in the Student Government Association, but we're just taking that advisor out of this Constitution to bring it in line with the others. This doesn't mean we can't work with an advisor. It's just keeping it clean and ensuring that it's the students that are making the judicial decisions when those do come up. And the final change was, I believe, was about the amendment process itself. This was a very small wording change that came up really on the floor of the Senate, just to clarify the title of Student Affairs. Currently it says the Office of Student Affairs. That's not really the way the university likes to talk about it. They prefer to say just Student Affairs, or the Division of Student Affairs, which is what I'm proposing it to say, just the Division of Student Affairs, because the university is always going to have different divisions. That's hopefully a little bit more timeless, because there are also some parts in the Code of Laws that say the Office of Student Affairs or Student Involvement or anything like that. Technically, that's not how the university talks about itself right now. We want to be a little bit more timeless. This is the Constitution. It's quite an effort to get this changed because we need to put it on the ballot, as opposed to the Code of Laws, which we're amending very frequently in the Senate, because that needs to be much more needed. I prefer the Constitution to be much more timeless for that reason.
The Second Amendment would change how runoffs in elections work. In the current system, if no candidate gets over 40% of the vote, the top two candidates go to a runoff where students vote a second time. The proposed new system would have students rank their preferences on a candidates for SGA president, vice president, and treasurer. This system would use the second and third choice votes to determine a winner in the case of a runoff. Zinner explained, however, that students can still just vote for one candidate.
What instant runoff is a system allows students to rank the candidates. This means if there's 5 candidates, you would rank them 1 through 5. You don't have to rank anybody. If you still want to just vote for one person, you can vote for one person. This is just giving the option to rank your 2 through 5.
25% of the student body must vote on each amendment, with 2/3 saying yes for it to pass.
Head coach of the Auburn basketball team, Bruce Pearl, is raising awareness for early cancer screenings with his foundation, Outlive.
Pearl sat down with Eagle Eye TV to talk about the impact of Outlive.
I think everybody has cancer stories, not just a story, stories. It's just another example of the ministry of coaching and teaching or working at a place like Auburn. I got to win basketball games to keep my job, I understand that. But it's not why I do what I do. It's to get kids graduated. It's to try to get them as boys and try to make men out of them. And in the position that I'm in, try to use my position to try to help others. And so this campaign is just one way that I'm able to serve. And I'm just grateful for the partnership at Auburn because I'm not alone. You know, we've got a lot of volunteers and a lot of people in the athletic department that really work hard to make this happen, knowing that there's going to be a cancer patient that's worried about the mortgage payment. And someplace in Huntsville or Montgomery or Sylacauga or anywhere in the state, they're going to get a check to get that mortgage paid for, and it's going to come from Outlive. I guess the long-term goal was that while Outlive is Auburn basketball's fight against cancer, I'd love it to become Auburn University's fight, if that would be something that would ever take place. It doesn't have to, but just want it to continue to be part of our DNA, and just blessed for the opportunity to serve, and so grateful for the university leadership and the students who are participating.
Saturday's game against Alabama is the Outlive game of the season. 1,500 students will get free Outlive t-shirts. There will also be a genetic screening van at the game.
After the break, see which former Auburn Tigers are headed to the Super Bowl.
You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Only you can prevent wildfires.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Super Bowl Sunday is right around the corner, but that doesn't mean we can't stop talking a little college ball. 3 former Auburn players are going to be on the field on Sunday, and recently at Super Bowl Media Days, our sports directors Hayden Desmond and Andy Hewling were there to talk to them.
The Super Bowl has arrived in Atlanta, and with it brings 3 Auburn Tigers. For the Los Angeles Rams, Blake Countess, and the Patriots, Jonathan Jones and Brandon King.
I'm Hayden Desmond, and I'll be taking the New England Patriots side of the ball in a little bit. But right now, I'm going to throw it to my co-director, Andy Hewling, as he has the report from the Los Angeles Rams.
We're from Auburn University, so talk about being an Auburn alum in this game.
You know, they got some Auburn alums over on that side too, John Jones and Brandon King. And so just, you know, being back in Atlanta, because I was at Auburn for a year. And when I took my Auburn visit, I didn't know that you had to fly into Atlanta to get to Auburn. So being back in Atlanta, it just kind of reminded me, being at the airport, you know, when I was coming for my official visit, you know, flying in and then driving down with my mom and meeting with Muschamp and T-Rob. You know, it's special for me. And then guys like John Jones, who was a senior at the time that I was coming in, you know, for him to embrace me and that whole team to embrace me, it's going to be special, man. I didn't get a chance to play with B. King, but just him being an Auburn guy, I know, you know, how he's been coached and, you know, what he's gone through at Auburn and kind of things like that. So it's going to be special, man. It's definitely going to be special facing off against them guys who are 2 prolific special teamers as well. You know, it's going to be fun.
That's all we have here from the Los Angeles Rams. Now let's flip it over to Hayden Desmond, who has the New England Patriots.
We're here with Brandon King here at Super Bowl Media. Now, Brandon, talk about the Super Bowl experience and everything that you've been able to experience here at the New England Patriots.
The Super Bowl experience is one of a kind. You know, each time coming here, being in this, you know, situation, being in this game, it's been different. Everything you have to go through to get here is different. The guys you're playing next to is different. But just enjoying it out here so far. Back, you know, a little bit closer to Auburn, back a little bit closer to home. So it's a little bit different experience, but you know, we're trying to get the same, you know, trying to get a, you know, positive outcome out of this game.
So we're with the Auburn student media, and you were a 4-year starter at AU. Talk about that experience and what it meant for you and your development as a football player.
Auburn was great, man. I loved Auburn for me. Just being there, the experience, it definitely helped me get here and being in the NFL. So all my time at Auburn was great. I loved it. War Eagle, you know, missed the planes.
So that's a wrap from Super Bowl 53 Media Days. Andy, what was your favorite part about the Media Days today?
I'd just say talking to the players. I think they all had really good attitudes about the game. Just really, I think the Rams are excited to play the Patriots, but the Patriots are just even happy to be here, even though they've been here 3 times already, and even more after that. But I just say, like, you know, at least talking to the Auburn players, it's good to see them representing Auburn well, but also representing their team. So it's going to be a great game Sunday. I'm really excited to see what happens.
We want to give a special thank you to Brandon King, Jonathan Jones, and Blake Countess for being available to the Auburn student media for us to interview. I'm Hayden Desmond, joined by Andy Hewling here at Super Bowl 53 Media Days for Eagle Eye TV, signing off.
Auburn gymnastics has been on a roll, quietly becoming one of the hottest sports on campus. Last Friday, they welcomed in the 6th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs, and Eagle Eye was there to capture it all. With a sold-out Auburn arena, the Tigers fed off the energy of the crowd. Top performances came from Gracie Day, who posted a 9.875 on bars and a 9.9 on the vault. Darian Goburn had a successful night, winning the all-around and the floor exercise, capped off with a perfect 10 from one of the judges. The Tigers are now 4-0 in the SEC and 5-0 overall.
Being away at Missouri and then coming back to just a sold-out arena, it was just absolutely amazing. We were all so excited. We knew it was going to be a good meet, and we all just had so much fun and just fed off the energy of each other in the crowd.
Auburn basketball has been in a rough patch since the beginning of SEC play, opening with a 2-4 record in conference play as they welcomed Missouri last night, looking for a win. Eagle Eye was there to capture it all.
After a 3-game losing streak, the Auburn Tigers defeated Missouri tonight with a score of 92-58. With the successful second half, Auburn basketball redeemed themselves from several missed free throws, missed shots, and fouls. Key players tonight were Jared Harper, who led the team with 16 total points, and Chuma Okeke and Bryce Brown coming in next with a total of 14 points. It was also a successful second half for D'Angelo Purifoy. After being out 22 months, Purifoy came out with a total of 8 points. He played one of his best games this season and is looking to get better.
I'm just happy to be back and just enjoying the wins with my team.
Although Auburn gained a win, they'll have to continue to improve from tough road losses in order to beat Alabama a second year in a row.
Yes, we turned Missouri over 20 times, which is great. Yeah, we held them down, and the field goal percentage numbers were what they were. But we've got to be able to play better.
The Auburn Tigers will be back in the arena to face Alabama Crimson Tide for the Outlive game this Saturday, February 2nd, 2019 at 7 p.m. This is Kennedy Gooden reporting live from Eagle Eye TV.
After the break, Auburn's favorite Tiger jumps into freezing cold pool waters. See why up next. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
For all the papas out there, let's stop what we're doing and take a moment. A moment to be with our kids. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments, kooky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count because every time dads take a moment to be with their kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's all take a moment to make a moment today.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary, but I'm a little misunderstood. Sorry, I almost killed you. You've all been misunderstood. You're not a fighter.
I don't understand that at all.
Kids with learning and attention issues like dyslexia and ADHD are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand.
Best plan ever!
With the right support, everyone can reach their full potential because you can't judge a bull by his cover. Learn more at understood.org.
Local nonprofit foundation Big House has impacted over 12,000 children in Alabama. The house welcomes foster families who need clothes, baby supplies, toys, and other household items. Kara Rhodes has the story.
I am Mary Beth Montgomery. I am an intern right now at Big House. I'm a student at Auburn University. I learned about Big House 3 years ago in one of my HGFS classes at Auburn and started volunteering with them pretty regularly and loved their mission, so I decided to come intern this semester.
And tell me about this room. We've got a lot going on here.
This room is the baby room and the new to care room. So we have a bunch of items that are needed for babies that have been put into foster care and their foster parents need a bunch of supplies, so we try to have as many available as possible. And then we also have a new to care closet, so any age child can come and get any quick necessities like toiletries or pajamas or really anything like that.
And where else? What other parts of the house do we have?
All right, so we'll come down the hall and we can show you one of the closets that we have. Our biggest program is the clothes closet, where we allow families to come shop. And so like the teen girls room, they can get 5 outfits and shoes and purses and accessories. And so we keep fully stocked closets of anything that a teenage girl might want to wear, all sizes that they'll have. And this can be for foster children, for kids that have been adopted out of foster care, or biological kids of foster families.
And what has Big House, how has it impacted you?
Man, Big House has really just shown me like the heart that I have for foster care, but also like it shows me like the hard work that foster parents are putting into their kids every single day. It's not an easy job, and they do it with such grace and humility and patience, and so it really just has opened my eyes to a whole nother world that I wouldn't have known about without Big House.
Big House is located on Sanford Avenue in Opelika.
An Amazon locker has been added to the Auburn Student Center, located right by the Verizon kiosk on the 2nd floor. According to Amazon's website, these lockers provide customers with a self-service delivery location where they can pick up and return packages from Amazon.com at any time, including evenings and weekends. Amazon describes these lockers as a way to provide peace of mind to customers who may not have had the best delivery options available, such as student dorms or apartment buildings without a doorman. Rules and instructions of the delivery system are available on Amazon's website, along with a map showing over 2,800 locations where people are able to find their local Amazon delivery lockers. There's no extra fee added to use a locker.
Auburn's 7th annual Polar Plunge event was last Saturday. Participants, including Aubie and Auburn Mayor Ron Anders, jumped in freezing cold waters at the Sanford Pool to raise money for charity.
3, 2, 1.
A few brave souls are taking the plunge at the 7th annual Parks and Rec Polar Plunge event. Behind me you can see a few participants lining up, getting ready for the event. Let's see how cold it is. This year, because of the temperature outside, I have a feeling it's going to be really cold. And cold it was. But kids, adults, and even Aubie. That's how you do it, folks. We're ready to sign up, dive in, and help raise money in support of Lee County Special Olympics. And costumes were encouraged. Polar Plunge vet Melanie Kohler was out to support her brother.
He's in Lee County Special Olympics. He does a lot of events for Lee County Special Olympics, and we want to make sure that we support them and make sure they have enough funding to be able to put on all the events and sports events they need every year.
And while some conquered the cold better than others, everyone was ready to cheer on every last diver for the good cause. With Eagle Eye TV, I'm Kaylee Bishop.
Over $14,000 was raised for the Lee County Special Olympics.
This week's Pet of the Week is Oogie Boo. He has been at the Humane Society since October. Oogie gets along great with other dogs and loves chewing on toys. He's very smart and has a lot of love to give.
He's around 2.5 years old and has been neutered and microchipped. He's also heartworm positive. Oogie is available for adoption at the Lee County Humane Society.
After the break, police in Indiana came to the rescue when one young boy needed help.
You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
I believe this is a practical world and that I can count only on what I earn. Therefore, I believe in work, hard work.
I believe in education, which gives me the knowledge to work wisely and trains my mind and my hands to work skillfully.
I believe in honesty and truthfulness, without which I cannot win the respect and confidence of my fellow men.
I believe in a sound mind, in a sound body, in a spirit that is not afraid, and in a clean sport that develops these qualities.
I believe in obedience to the law because it protects the rights of all.
I believe in human touch, which cultivates sympathy with my fellow men and mutual helpfulness and brings happiness for all.
I believe in my country because it is a land of freedom and because it is my home, and that I can best serve that country by doing justly, loving mercy, and walking humbly with my God.
And because Auburn men and women believe in these things, I believe in Auburn and love it.
Police answered cries for help every day, but officers in Lafayette, Indiana responded to a unique call this week.
Police dispatcher Antonia Bundy answered a call from a boy who said he had had a bad day at school. He had tons of homework and desperately needed help with his fractions. Bundy helped the boy work through fractions over the phone.
Police said they don't recommend calling 911 for homework help.
That's all we have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in with us each Thursday and check our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, for all the latest headlines. I'm Chloe Thaler.
And I'm Lucy Jane Ragsdale. Thanks for joining us, and War Eagle.